Let me in.
Little press over here, a milestone over here, the conic side. Well, we have seen that in Capernaum from a distance. It's all made of basalt, the local stone over here. The whole village is built with a basalt stone. The basalt stone is actually the stream of lava that cooled down.
Okay,
And it became the basalt stone that we see it over here. This is the local
Jujubio.
All right? Yesterday we talked about the mikveh, the ritual bath. This is the ritual bath complex over here that existed from the very ancient synagogue. Okay, the very ancient synagogue, and I'm talking about the synagogue from the time of Jesus, was located in this area over here. Okay, let's not forget that Korazin was actually condemned because they wouldn't repent. Okay, in his ministry he came also and taught here in Korazin, and there was they wouldn't listen so much to him, and especially I would say the religious authorities, the rabbis, the teachers that have been here at Korazin. What we see over here is the whole complex of water that supply the water for the ritual bath. It's right underneath over there. Okay, so we have the entrance, we have the steps. It was a whole complex next to the synagogue. We understand that we are now in what we call the center of the village, actually, that existed in the ancient time. So Chorazin was already existing a long time ago. The first time that we learn actually about Chorazin is already in the very early time, even before Jesus' time. Existed already a small settlement over here. Mainly what we're going to see now is actually from the 5th century and on. And this is actually the synagogue that we're going to see over here, one of the finest synagogues that they ever found in the country, in Korazin. Korazin is an interesting actually a community that existed over here. What's interesting also in the synagogue that it's the influence of decoration from other cultures as well. Of the synagogue, when we've been in Capernaum, we talked about the symbols, and I put a focus on the Jewish symbols that we use, like the fruits, the 7 blessed fruits of the land. We can see those also here, but we can see a lot of other items that have been over here, even that looks pagans, that look different. Let me explain this. We're talking about Byzantine period. We're talking about after the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem. We're talking about Jewish people, Christian people, and I would say Roman Byzantine people that are living also here nearby. The same craftsmen and artists that decorated churches, decorated Byzantine homes and palaces and dwelling were decorated also synagogue. So many times we see also all kind of items they are so-called against Jewish laws, because you won't have any images, you won't have any face, but you can see them also sometimes in the decoration. It doesn't mean that there was idolatry over here. It doesn't mean that they were sinning against God. They were not. It's just that the craftsmen that work over here, they use a lot of symbols not from from Jewish heritage, from biblical heritage. You understand? So we can see them also here. Some of them are from the nature, but some of them, like this one over here, if you look, it's a Medusa. This is not a Jewish symbol, not at all. All right, it's something pagan, something taken from the mythology, the Greek mythology, but it's maybe one of the craftsmen found, well, it's nice, let's decorate it with this too. So we found this also over here. but this is from the Greek mythology. It's actually, we can look at it this way. Hey, the good way is that there was actually a common way of life between Jews, Christians, Jews and Gentiles, and also the Byzantine, I would say, supervisor, or the Byzantine authorities that existed here in the region. There was a sort of a common way of life. This is what we can understand from this. It was much more moderated, because, so this is probably how the synagogue looks like. What's very, very interesting, and we talked about it already in Capernaum, is the entrance to the synagogue. The entrance from the south and facing the north, and the inverse. We've seen it in Capernaum, and I explained it. From exterior, it looks like every other public building, but from the interior, with all the decoration and everything was inside, we know that this was actually a synagogue. And what is interesting also is the menorah that was found over here. Decoration of the menorah, we see it over here. It was found in the capitals, in the different areas. And one more thing that was found over here is this. This is one of the most important thing that was found over here. It's a seat. This seat for the elders, Cathedra de Moshe. Okay, and saying it, that the original one is in Jerusalem. What is this seat for? This seat, my friend, is a very, very important seat. One of the elders is sitting over here. We give him the honor, and at the age of 8 days, what we do? Circumcision, right? Circumcision, he's going to the alliance with Abraham. He's going through the alliance of Abraham, like Abraham did himself, the alliance with God, through circumcision. And this is the first thing. This is the first thing. And the godfather, the elder, he will sit in the seat of the synagogue and would hold the young boy in his hand. And this is actually like I did with my son, with my grandson. It's a very, very moving moment and a big responsibility. It's not just honor. This is not the synagogue that Jesus have been here in Korazin. Do you understand? The synagogue that he have been here was damaged, was destroyed, because he condemned Capernaum. Also here, the way of praying was to Jerusalem, to this area. We believe that here the ark was in between the two entrances. You understand? The two gates over here. We found a lot of synagogues in the Galilee here. Many, many, many of them over here. And I will tell you something else. Many, many of them also from the same period in the Golan Heights. The destruction of the first synagogue. Good question. Good question. Probably in the 3rd century. Probably in the 3rd century. In the Galilee, and this is an example. This synagogue over here, like this, a lot of them have been discovered. A lot, but not in this condition. This is one that's really very nice preserved. We can see even the upper part. You can see the columns. Look at this. It's all made with the basalt stone, but beautiful synagogue, really nice. You can see how the restoration that they're doing right now, they're doing restoration, they're using the same stone, the stone of basalt, but they smooth the stone, they cut it so we can see actually the difference between the very old and the very new stones that we can see over here. You can see, by the way, the fish over here. You know that the first symbols of the very early Christianity was the fish, the first symbol. Some some English translation they call it Christ thorns because they have thorns over here. We call it. It's a variety of pistachio, but it's not pistachio like the nuts that you're eating. Also, we eat the little fruits over there. I forgot. There's a few names of it, but I forgot the right name. Okay, a nice structure over here from the ancient time of Korazin. The keystone, you can see it right here, and only the pressure that holds everything. It is. It is. It's very nice. You see, the big difference is that in the Roman time, they would cover inside the building with plaster, a few layers of plaster, and it looks very smooth, like in a building, like in a room you're going today. But in this period, they would leave it like that. They would live it like that, naturally, almost naturally.
They would cover with logs or something?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, beams of wood, and then above the beams you had because they didn't have, the Romans, the wealthy Romans, they did had already clay tile. They didn't have. To have clay tiles, you need money, you need a good earth for clay. You don't have the earth for clay over here. So what do? You have beams and wood. There is wood here in the Galilee, and what you cover it with branches and leaves, and you mix it with mud, dry it in the sun, and that's it. This is actually the roof that used to be in the ancient time. All right, guys, we continue. Come on, guys, this is interesting for you. This is interesting for you. You have here genuine items of olive press over here from the ancient time. And I can explain here the different stage of the oil production over here. If you come over here with me, okay. Are we all here? Almost. Two items over here. By the way, remember Jesus using this item in a parable, the weight of a milestone, all right? Look how big is a milestone, what a weight, when he actually wanted to explain to people about the weight of and over here, if we turn this milestone over here, all around, there is a center pillar, and there is actually an axe over here, and there is a farmer and a guy with an animal that they actually are turning this stone all around. And in the center, would we put the olives over here? They've been crushed with the seeds, And after they've been crushed with the seeds, we use the mash and we put them in baskets. Normally, the baskets of the olive mash were used from the plant of vineyards, from the vines. All right. Then you create baskets, flat baskets, and you put the mash inside. And then you put it over here. And normally what you do, actually, you have two pillars over here. You have a whole system of weight above it, and you crushed actually the weight will press actually the olives, and the liquid, the olive oil, will be out. Here you can see it better over here in this one. Okay, you can see it over even better. The two pillars. This is probably the upper stone. This is the upper stone that was actually, it's the inverse. And this is the lower stone, and you can see the liquid that flows in to this tub over here, and you collect the liquid. All the hard material, dust and sand will drop down, and the good olive oil will flow on the top. You collect it, you put it in jars, and you leave it. If you try to drink olive oil straight after the press, it's so bitter and green, it's very hard. But if you wait 6 months, a year, then it turned from green to yellow, and finally to a golden color. And that's the olive press, the hand press, the natural press is the what we call extra virgin. This is the extra virgin. All right. Never buy olive oil which is not pressed this way. Today they have machines to press it, but never buy olive oil that was reheated. Now the process of wine, maybe you'll be disgusted what I'm telling you about. You know how you press wine? You step on it, barefoot. And it was a big face, you know, to step on the wine over here. There were a few things, you know. Springtime is springtime. In springtime, men were chasing the young women, and there was a lot of things that happened in springtime. And then also after the harvest, actually, which is in the summertime, here we actually collect the grapes after the harvest of grapes, and we bring them to here, and they were stepping. And once they're stepping, it's synced over here to the bottom, the dirt, the first part, and the liquid moves into this area over here. And I think there is a way in. Well, no, in this system, it's not going from there. It's sliding slowly with gravitation from the mosaic floor and then to here. But the whole floor for stepping was with mosaic. This is quite nice. We don't see it all over in the Galilee. Only here I've seen it, but it's very nice. And then it's all plastered. You can see the steps going down. My friend, this is wine production, and I'm talking about 1,500 years ago. 1,500 years ago of a wine production. I know that a lot of you don't drink wine, and I'm not going into the reason why and so on. And I know there is a wine is in a way a symbol of, it's sacred, and excuse me, I'm sorry. According to the Jewish laws, wine is a blessing. The wine is a blessing. Of course, if you use it as a blessing, if you use it to be drunk, it's bad. But if you use it for blessing, it's a blessing. And we are obligated to drink wine in all the festivities. A glass of wine on Friday night, on Saturday, on Shabbat. There is a way to drink the wine, to bless the participant, the family, and to bless the family and the children. And finally, after the man that he is doing actually the Shabbat ceremony, the Friday night ceremony, he shared the wine with everybody, okay, with everybody, and then we blessed the Father, God, that He create the fruit of the wine. We blessed, and then we drink. We don't drink it just like that. There is a way to do it. There is a way of because it's a blessing. Because it's not just, oh, let's give you a high and give you to be drunk. No, this is not the reason. The reason is a blessing. All right? It's a different thing. In Passover, 4 glasses of wine. 4 glasses of wine. But in a meal that lasts for almost 2 hours, You know, it's not one after the other one. It takes time. You read the scroll, the Bible, you read the stories, you pray, you discuss, you sing, and then you drink a glass of wine. You eat, you continue. You eat, you continue. And when I say 4 glasses of wine, it's not 4 glasses like this one. It's 4 small glasses, not so big. And this is the minimum, the obligation in Passover. So wine is very, very important in the Jewish tradition. About wine, in the older translation by the different Christian streams about wine, which reminds the blood of Christ and so on, all kind of translation I'm not going into. Because every stream of Christianity have his own way to understand it. But we're talking in this period also wine is a blessing. It's a blessing and it's a custom and you're using it, and also you trade. You sell it, you buy. And this is a wine production over here.